Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today I'll be talking about how I got my German citizenship.
Pedal, kill it.
So yeah, actually got the citizenship this year. I would say March to be exact. And this year makes it the 4th year of my living in Germany as a resident. And so I'll be talking about the requirements. I'll be talking about the general requirements and then the specific requirements for those that are married to Germans, as is my case. So yeah, let's talk about it. First of all, those of you who have the German citizenship or who know about Germany know that it's not very easy to get it. It's not the hardest to get, but it's definitely harder than, for example, the American citizenship or some other, citizenship that I know about. It's quite intense, and Germany is a land of papers, so be rest assured that they'll ask for every single paper. And yeah, they verify everything. Even before I moved to Germany, getting my residence my residence permits to come back to Germany to meet my wife, that was a bit hectic because I had to go back to Nigeria and apply from there, and there was a lawyer that was sent to verify a lot of things. So Germans verify a lot of things when it comes to paperwork, your history, and so on. So it's not a very easy process, but it's possible and it's doable. So today I'll be talking about some of the requirements for getting the German citizenship. If you're married to a German, you have to have lived in Germany for a minimum of 3 years, and you have to have been married for a minimum of 2 years. So you have to live in Germany for 3 years, and you have to be married for a minimum of two. If you're a normal resident, by normal resident I mean you're not married to Germany, you're just living here as a resident, not as a visitor, but as a resident or student or whatever, or working here. There's a requirement of 8 years of living in Germany, and I also think I read somewhere 7 years if you studied, in Germany. So it's a bit longer for those that are living here with a normal residency. But yeah, and that's for the stay. Another requirement is the language, very, very important. Or let's just say the integration course. Normally, the Germans call it the integration course because you get to do the language, and then you also get to do the orientation course that helps you to know about, system of government in Germany, how people live here, the rights, and just different stuff like the different arms of government, like the judiciary, the executive, or the legislative, or yeah, just different parts about Germany. And these things are requirements for getting the German citizenship. So to prove your level of German knowledge, you have to have a minimum of B1. So a B1 level of German knowledge to be able to apply for a citizen, to be able to apply to be a citizen. That also applies to when you want to apply to become a permanent resident. The requirements are quite similar, but for citizenship, you have a bit more requirements. So you have the B1 language, and then you have the orientation course. The certificate actually shows that you've learned a little bit about how it is to live in Germany. You know your rights. When you become a German citizen, you know how they vote, you know the kind of government they have, like it's a democratic social government. So just different parts about, Germany that you have to know. And that certificate actually proves that you've done the course and you passed, the exam. It's a requirement for applying for either the citizenship or the permanent residency. Another requirement is the ability to be able to provide for yourself. It's very, very important. For Germany and for any other country, that you are able to provide for yourself or your family, and that you do not depend on the system. And so that's a huge requirement. And so they check your history to see if you've ever depended on the system for let's say food or money, or like you were not able to work and you had to depend on the system, and that can be a red flag. And so it's a requirement that you're able to provide for yourself. And one way they also check to see that you've put something into the system is to check your what do you call it, your pension insurance. In Germany, there are a lot of different insurances when you start working, even before you start working. There are a lot of different insurances, and one of the important insurance is your pension insurance when you're working. So they check to see that you've paid some money into your pension, so that in case something happens to you tomorrow, let's say you become a permanent resident or citizen, and then let's say you become disabled, God forbid, and you can no longer work, then you are the responsibility of the state, of the country. So they don't want somebody that would just come and depend on the system, and that's why a job security or a history of that they can see that you can provide for yourself is very important. And most times in that case, they look for job contracts that are permanent, not temporary job contracts. So of course there are exceptions. Like I would say, like different regions have a different approach to this. There is a general requirement for every region, but some regions are a bit more lenient than other regions. I know somebody who actually got citizenship without actually having a job. I mean, they had a job in the past, but at the time they applied for citizenship, they had no job. There were different factors that played into it, like the father-in-law, just different things, but he got it, And the region is quite known to be lenient and it's easier to get your citizenship there in comparison to where I live. Where I live is known to be one of the toughest places to get the German citizenship. But I mean, I got it, so it's possible. And the requirements that I had to fulfill were quite a bit. And I would say different regions can also add to the requirements. There is a general standard, there's a general requirement for every region, but different regions have the freedom to add some extra stuff if they deem fit. So depends on also where you live, and if you also meet the right person, good. If you meet the wrong person, then it can be really, really difficult. Yeah, another requirement is that you have a clean criminal record. It's very important for your application that you have no history of crime or anything against the state or against the police or whatever. It's very important, so you want to keep that clean. Another requirement is that you might have to give up your nationality. Most of the times you are asked to give up your nationality of birth to acquire the German nationality. There's an exception, and that exception is if your country does not allow you to give it up. And that was the case with Nigeria. Thank God. Thank God that I didn't have to choose whether to give it up or not, because I know a couple of people that have given up their Nigerian nationality like this, like very fast, because I mean, I wouldn't blame them. They were quite frustrated with the country, and they were like, who Nigeria help, So when they asked them to give up their nationality, they're like, which nationality? I've given up that country, Tete. This is just a formality. Take it and give me German passport. So yeah, so it's in most of the cases you have to give up your nationality, but since Nigeria does not allow you to give it up, for me, I had the opportunity and the privilege to have two nationalities. I don't know if there was not an option to have two, I don't know if I would have just flinged the Nigerian passport and taken the German passport. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm glad that I was able to to have both. But there are strings attached to having two nationalities, okay? And in Germany, it's called you're like a you have Doppelstaatsangehörigkeit, or you're like a Mehrstaater, which means that you have dual citizenship. The implication of that is this: if I was in a country that was neither Germany nor Nigeria, and there was an issue, and I had to leave the country, or there was a problem, I could either choose to go to the Nigerian embassy to ask for help from the embassy, God forbid, but it's an option to go to the Nigerian embassy and ask for help, or I could go to the it's my wife. I just saw my wife pass by. or I could go to the German embassy and ask for help. So I can do that if I'm in a country that is neither Nigeria nor Germany. Okay? But if I was in Nigeria and there was an issue, I cannot go to the German embassy to ask for help because I'm in my country. So it's good to know that, having the dual citizenship. So yeah, I mean, basically that's like the general requirements, that you ask for before you can apply for the German citizenship. I wish you luck if you're in the process of yours. I would say in total, my experience, like applying for the citizenship was not the easiest. It was a bit hectic, but I'm glad that that's done now, and I don't really have to worry much about different paper stuff or paperwork when it comes to my stay in Germany. But I would say do not make getting this your goal if you live in Germany. Like, it's nice to get because, I mean, you get to travel a lot with, you can, not this. I mean, this is nice, but this. It's nice to have because you can travel. And as you guys all know, it's the German passport is quite powerful when it comes to traveling, and the green passport or the Nigerian passport can be a bit problematic when you're traveling, because of what some people have done with the passport. I mean, by God's grace, I've been able to travel with this to a couple of places, and even that's how I met my wife. Using this, so it's possible to travel with this. I know people that have gone to way more countries with this, than people with this, so it's possible. This just makes it a bit easier. I would say it's nice to have, but it should never be a goal because after all the stress and everything, when I finally got this, I was like, oh, is that it? Because I think I was expecting to feel a certain way. But I discovered that the journey to getting this was way more exciting than actually getting it. So, you can have this and still not have a good life in Germany. This is not a guarantee that you will live happily ever after, or that you'll be prosperous. You still have to pay your bills like everybody else. You still have your responsibility like everybody else. I know people that were born with this. I mean, Germans, because they were born here, so they have this. That's still not very well to do. They struggle a lot. So this is not a guarantee. This helps a bit, but you still have the responsibility to take care of yourself in Germany or anywhere you are. And this is not like winning the lottery or anything. So I would say focus on living in Germany, focus on having a good life in Germany and being happy, and this will come along at the right time. But this should not be the focus. My focus is my family, first of all, God, my family, my work here, like just things that make my life a bit easier or make me a bit happier. And that's the focus. And this is just like an addition to it. So if you're in the process of applying for this or getting this or permanent residency, I wish you luck. If you have any question that you want to ask, like specific questions, please leave them in the comment below. I try to keep this video a bit shorter so I don't have to talk about too much stuff, about this. So if you have any question or things that you want cleared before you apply, please let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, share, subscribe, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a good week. Bye.